Hey guys, welcome to Home Sweet Homeschool. My name is Ashley and I'm a homeschooling mom to one. And today I'm going to talk to you about one question that I get all the time. I get asked multiple times, can you do Gather Round Homeschool if you only homeschool one child? And so today I thought I would answer that question. And to put it simply, yes you can. We have an only child. We have our son who is a 5th grader, and it is totally doable to use Gather Round Homeschool for one child. I know in the homeschool world it's very rare to see families with just one kid. I know at our co-op a lot of the people have multiple children, and so to find curriculum and activities and things like that, or even videos about homeschooling an only child, are very rare. So I wanted to make this video today to tell you how we do it. First of all, if you go to Gather Round Homeschool's website and you click on any of the units, it's going to pull up the pricing. And the way that I do it is I just choose the one student, one teacher guide. And so how that happens is I find the unit that we want, and so far we've bought all the units except for Europe. Europe is her latest unit and I haven't bought it yet. I have purchased Christmas, North American birds, Asia, and space. And each time that I do the one student, one teacher guide. Now, if you are teaching just one child, you're not going to be able to see all those levels, and you're probably thinking, how do I place him? Well, the best thing to do is to get a sample of the unit. She has a place you can sign up on her website where you can download a sample, and that way you can kind of determine the level that your child's going to need. For my 5th grade son, the upper elementary notebook works perfectly for him. It's just the right amount of work, and the great thing is you could always add more or take some away depending on your child. It's also great because the one student notebook and the one teacher guide only cost $19.95. Now, I don't know about you, but just in these 2 years that we've been homeschooling, I have spent a ton of money on curriculum that did not work for us. Money that we just kind of threw away, and I can't get it back. And so I really feel like $20 a month is very, very reasonable. It comes with everything that I need. All I have to add is math, so I'm covering every subject for my one child for $20 a month. And I think that's great. And if I need to reprint something, I can do that too, because I choose the digital version. If you have, I can't think today. If you have HP Instant Ink, then you can, print whatever as many times as you need to, but you can also have her print it for you and she can mail it. So the cost is great, $19.95 like I said, and you can choose any of the units. But I do recommend that you go in and you pick the unit that you want, you get the sample lessons before you decide, so that you can make sure you're getting the right notebook for your child. And maybe the notebook doesn't work, and you think, oh, this needs to be a little bit harder or a little bit easier. Well, the next unit you buy, you could change levels. $20, not a big deal. So let me show you what I do. If you haven't watched any of my other videos on what the units look like, go check those out. I have them on all the previous units that she's released, so check those out. I'm going to show you, this is what I do. This is my Asia notebook. I print out all the units. I do not print out the teacher's guide. I use my iPad. I download it in my Google Drive, and I use my iPad to read from, and then sometimes I hand my iPad to my son, and he uses it when he's doing his work. So you could print it or do it digitally. So I print out the units and I just put them into a binder. I don't take them to any office supply store, and I don't own a binding machine. I do, but it's an older one that I used as a public school teacher, and it just isn't, I don't use it. It's easier for me to punch the holes and put them in here because my son doesn't work from this. I'm going to show you what I use for my son. So I'll take the binder like I just showed you, and I will pull out a week's worth of lessons. At the end of every week, I sit down, I pull out the next 4 lessons, because we only homeschool at home 4 days a week. We go to co-op on Mondays. I pull out the next 4 lessons, and this clipboard is really neat because it does open up, and that's where I keep all the other lessons, and I put just the day's lesson on here. My son has ADHD, and he would be totally overwhelmed if I handed him that whole unit. He would probably lose his mind. Not really, he doesn't lose his mind, but that would overwhelm him and he wouldn't enjoy it as much. So he only has to focus on what is right here on the front, and this is a part of the space unit. So this is our next lesson that we'll be on when we start space back. And what we do is we pile up on the couch together, because we can still gather around. We get blankets, our dog likes to sit with us when we read, And so even though we don't have that large family like a lot of people have, we have the perfect size for us. And so we gather up on the couch or the bed, wherever we want to work that day. We read from my iPad, and he starts working on this. I just have a caddy that sits on his desk that has all his writing supplies that he needs, has a calculator, whatever he needs, and we pick that caddy up and we go to wherever we want to sit, and we kind of have our own little gather round, and it's cozy and it's just for us. So he works from this, and then at the end of the day, I remove these sheets and I put the next day's work on. So don't get discouraged or feel like you're being left out because this is meant for big families. It's really not. It's meant for anybody that wants to do something different. If you're interested in trying a unit study for your family, or you're looking for something new because you're burnt out with what you're doing, or what you're doing is just not working, and you only have one child, or you're only homeschooling one child, definitely look into Gather Round Homeschool. Now, I purchased this stuff all on my own. I mean, I'm not sponsored by her at all. I love this stuff. It has changed our homeschool, and it works perfectly for my one child. So if you have any comments or questions, please leave them below. I would love to talk to you more about it. Check out my other videos, and be sure to like and subscribe. Thanks so much for watching.